Hey guys, and welcome back to Agrarian Skies. It'll take just a second for the system to get used to recording again. It'll be a little laggy at first, but it should get better. Now, today I thought I haven't done a lot of questing recently, maybe I should move on and do one. Still not going to do the final two quests here. Hell's Kitchen. We are going to do the aged Jews now. And I'm not talking about elderly people of a Jewish persuasion, I'm talking about Jews. Okay, now remember I let the melon run for a long time, and I already made 10,000 melon juice. Now in order to make the vinegar, I just tell it to make, no, 10,000 is fine, thank you, 10,000 vinegar. And it'll go through those very, very quickly. I'll just get myself one. Then I need an export bus, and I'll take a precision one because they're faster. I will need my QDS, and I'll just slap that down right here. Now for this particular quest I don't need to mess around much, because I have exactly the amount of vinegar I need for the quest, so there's no reason I could overshoot. But the way I'm setting it up now, if I had more than 10,000 vinegar, this would take more than 1,000 vinegar. And you move stacks of them at a time, please. He should now be... he's almost done with vinegar. He should now be shoving that into that quest. And yeah, see, it's going very, very quickly, burning through the vinegar like crazy. Now, as I said, if I have more than 10,000... it would keep putting them in, because these quest delivery systems also kind of act as void items. Just like I can void fluids into them if I wanted to, even though I used the correct method back there. I could also void items in here. It just keeps sucking. It keeps saying, yeah, sure, I'll take it, I'll take it, I'll take it, and then does nothing with it. It just deletes stuff. Okay, but there is a way to go around that, which I think I'll eventually probably show that. Basically, if you hook up a vanilla comparator to this, just like comparators tell you how many items are in a chest and how full furnaces and such are, the comparator will output a signal if there's a quest bound to the QDS. And once the QDS has enough items to finish the quest that it's currently working on, it will unbind itself from the quest. As you see here, it's now an unbound one. It will still accept items. But if you set up that comparator so that you're basically saying, okay, only import as long as that comparator is powered, then as soon as the QDS unbinds, the comparator will become unpowered, so there will no longer be any importing. So you only lose, I don't know, maybe 2, 3, maybe a stack of items, say, because it keeps going for a little while all that redstone is just taking its processing. But in general, that's a good way to do it. Okay, we have 100% of the vinegar, so let's just claim the reward. I am still working on most of these. I should actually check. Okay, I need to check what's going on here. Firstly though, full heart, you go in here. I don't quite know what this strongbox does. I think if I put it down I can't move it again. I will, if that's the case, I'll just slap it down here. If it's the case that I can't move it afterwards, then I'll probably go into creative mode and punch it away. And in here we have cinder pearls, shimmer leaf, and ethereal blooms. These are important for Thaumcraft. So right now, not much use to us, but they will come in handy at a later stage. Now, can I break you? I kind of doubt it. Can I dolly you around? That would be okay, but I kind of doubt that. No, I cannot. Okay, so it's gonna have to be creative mode. And that's the only thing I would use creative mode for. Go away. And I know there's numbers as well, so it's game mode 0 and game mode 1, but I keep forgetting which way around they are, so I just type out creative and survival. Okay, and an epic reward bag. Very nice. Oh, 4 runes of sacrifice. Once we start getting into magic, which I will do once I'm very satisfied with how my automation setups going. But yeah, once we get into that, those will come in handy because, let me just show you. They need a bunch of stuff. The fluxed electrum is kind of annoying to make, the reinforced slates are kind of annoying to make. All of that doesn't really mean much to you right now, probably, but don't worry, it'll make sense eventually. And for then, I'll be happy to have these runes here, because I already have 8, which basically means I get a free upgrade to a level 2 altar already. Now, I should probably show you what I did since last time. Mostly little stuff, I guess. I did the cow setup here. It's still burning through some of my wheat. I'm not automatically filling this yet, as I said, but yeah, automatically grinding them up into steak and leather. It's going slowly but steadily, so that's fine. I only need, I don't know, maybe 2000 steak for all my quests in total. It's fine. And I've set up a rancher right here. Which, why is that not really working? Why is he... Okay, so my Tesseract can't even keep up. That's interesting. It should. It should. I guess we'll have to check, but now the rancher is supposed to produce milk and eggs, because there's a chicken in here. Only a single one right now, that's all I had, but it's supposed to also pull eggs out of that chicken. It doesn't. I'm not getting any eggs into my system. I don't know why. I'll have to check. I guess maybe it doesn't recognize the Tesseract as a valid output, even though it is supposed to be sending items, so I don't know. Maybe that chicken isn't being recognized for some reason. We'll have to see. I think I didn't show this, I installed a sewer, and because there's animals on top of it, and it's got a range upgrade, so it's checking the entire area here, it basically takes sewage out of those animals. You really don't want to know how that works. Okay, and that sewage is a liquid that I've imported on my system. I've set it up so I have at most 500 buckets of it. You've seen all that. And the use for that will come quite soon. I have set up, well actually that one of the uses is this composter, which that takes the sewage and turns it into industrial fertilizer. But I actually think I'm going to turn that off now, so I'm telling this fluid export bus to only export when there's a signal, which means he should now be fairly empty. Yep, okay. I don't need the fertilizer yet, but I will eventually. I've set my auto-sieving setup again so that it uses item ducts. That way I don't have all the crushed and broken and all those silly little things in my systems. Basically, sieving works just as normal, then these vacuum hoppers pull it in, it gets item ducted in here, and these connections are all set to whitelist, so they only take the actual ore pieces, the broken, the pulverized and the crushed ores, and they are automatically taken by the auto packager, and whenever I have 4 of any of these, it takes a little while sometimes for the auto packager to find it, but he will... We can just have a look. Should take maybe 2-3 seconds. There we go. He goes through again, and it recognizes he can craft these into blocks, and does that, which are then instantly put into here. Now, out of this, anything that's a dust, which is what I'm actually looking to process further in my AE system, anything that's a dust, it'll pull out of that chest, which this is a whitelist, and the only place it can put the dust in this entire system is back here. I shouldn't need the dense mode on this item duct, but that just means that it will first try every single other connection to this pipe before it outputs anything in here. Again, it shouldn't be necessary because there isn't anywhere else it could put them, but just in case, I just added that for extra safety. And all of that gets put into a chest along with all the other drops, the diamonds, the quartz, and all that stuff that I also get from the sieves. Sieves, one of those. It'll all get put into this chest, which is then automatically imported into my system. And all the broken and crushed, so the ore sand and the ore gravel, gets put into this autonomous activator, and that's the same setup I had before. Places the block, this activator crushes the blocks, it gets sucked back in here and rebuilt into blocks, which then it's just a nice circle. I've had to set up this sort of buffer tank for my aqueous accumulator because it seemed the accumulator was actively pushing water into my system. So even though I had the level emitter and all that set up, it didn't seem to be working. Okay, I have also done one more thing with the mob essence that I'm gathering from my... Whoa. Yeah. Elevators are nice if you remember you have them. In my mob system, I'm gathering tons of mob essence, which I'm exporting into this block smasher. And the way that works is it uses mob essence to basically use fortune on ores. And the yield should be higher than just putting these in pulverizers. And if I could actually... There, I can just reach it. I've set this to work on coal, Certus quartz, nether quartz, emerald, diamond, and apatite. I'm not certain one is enough to keep up. It seems to be actually decreasing the total amount of coal I'm getting. And basically what this is, it essentially puts the block and mines it with a Fortune 3 pickaxe. And I can change the level of Fortune. The higher it is, the more mob essence it uses, but I'm producing more than enough, so that's fine. Okay, yeah, here that seems to be holding up quite fine. I've slightly changed how these pulverizers work, but in general the setup is exactly the same. And I have also built this... No, the sawmill isn't new. I thought I'd placed another thing. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. Ah, stop doing that. Okay. I've also half-slept the path around my mob trap so nothing can spawn there, because things did spawn there. Anyway, I need a tank. And it takes a little while for these for the NEI to update. Especially when your system grows large and such. And if that happens, you can just toggle this search box mode and it will then instantly change. I need one of these fluid tanks from Mariculture. Well, the recipe gives me 2, but that's fine. And that's in Go With The Flow. That's the final piece I needed for this this quest. So I will... Magnesium dust I can make by myself. That's not an issue. That comes from, I think, rutile ore or something else. You get it from maybe quicklime and water. You can make this and you can automatically craft it, so it's not an issue getting it. I'll take the reward back. Next thing is to craft a liquid crafter and a cyclic assembler. Well, firstly I would have had to make a fluid export and import bus. I've made tons of those already. Next thing would have been a fluid storage monitor. I've done that as well. So liquid crafter and cyclic assembler. And I've already made a fluid crafting chamber, which I don't need for the quest, but I think I should probably show you. Firstly, oh wow, a butterfly and a golem. Meh. The golem might be nice eventually for Thaumcraft. It's used for basically the Thaumcraft way of automating things is golems. And the butterfly, I don't believe these really do anything. I think it's kind of a fun thing, it's similar to bee breeding, but I don't believe these are as useful as bees. Anyway, the liquid crafting to fluid crafting chamber can do any recipe, for example 1 water bucket turning into 4 freshwater buckets. And if I have the relevant liquid, it doesn't need to make the bucket, it just takes 1 bucket of water out of my system and crafts that into 4 of the freshwater without going past a bucket somehow. So that's how I can make any recipe that has a bucket of liquid in it. I can use in this fluid crafting chamber, as long as I have the liquid in my system. Mob essence is that still going up? Or is my my block smasher? No, it should still be working just fine. Unless something broke. I don't know, I'll have to check, but that block smasher has been running for a long time, so. And how are you doing? Oh, working on your final block of coal. And then there's some diamonds. Okay, he's working, but he should be keeping up. Okay. Yeah, I need a liquid crafter. Which is this thing. That requires a bunch of stuff that I haven't... Well, actually... hit escape once more. I should have all of those things encoded in my system, so... Well, hey. I've cleaned this up slightly because I don't need the ore gravel and ore sand and ore dust recipes in here anymore. That's now done by the auto packager. So I don't believe I need these anymore. Do I have the tank in here, the portable tank? Apparently not, okay. Which is... I think that should be any kind of glass around copper. Okay, so I'll need glass. Give me glass. Don't actually need 4. And copper. I now only have the thermal expansion copper in my system, and I'm not generating any other kinds anymore, so that's very nice. Okay. Take that. And now if I go here, tell it to make me a liquid crafter, he should be able to. Yes. Hey, wait a second. Does that count, or do I have to craft them? Okay, so that doesn't count. Well, Boulder Dash. So I will have to manually get the ingredients for this, which means... Okay, I need to craft one of those. Just give me a stack for heaven's sake, I don't care anymore. Give me that. 2 of those are enough. And then I need books. Which, oh, why don't you make a stack of those as well? Don't know if I actually have enough resources, but let's see. Okay. And crafting in this grid counts for crafting quests. So, da-da, 100% now. It doesn't count if I auto-craft it. I think it's because it's going too fast. That's the explanation I heard anyway. And we also need a... Oh, can't search down there. A cyclic assembler, or cyclic assembler, but I think it should be cyclic. Yeah, just show me. And that requires some tin gears, which I should be able to make. You know what? Just make 2 of those. And let's see, what am I missing? Chest and... Okay, fine, I can make a chest, no problem. Redstone reception, no problem. And then just give me that. Okay. And that should be that done. And I already have a few of the follow-up quests done, because I'll show you in a second. Reward bag again. Reactor casing and flux crystal I can just craft, so that's not needed. These require me to have a mob essence bucket, which I have because I've moved mob essence around, a sewage bucket, and a milk bucket. And they each have follow-up quests, which are... I need a lot more of that. For example, for this one I need 160 buckets of mob essence. Which isn't really a problem. I will probably do that in between episodes. I will hook up my sewage, which is... it should be getting more now. The mob essence is actually being reduced, so maybe I remove 1 or 2 of the ore types from here that I don't really need any more of. Which is... it's gonna have to be emerald and diamond. So that should now be using less mob essence, and... yeah, that should be fine. Already got another diamond ore, and I'll wait for some emerald and put that somewhere else as well. I'm on 246 ender pearls now, so very nice. Okay, as I said, in between episodes I'll probably set up the QDS to work through the liquid crafting, through the liquid quests a little. Okay. There's a few other liquids that I'll need, but I will get to them as I get to them. And for the hoarding, there's a ton of stuff. I think this one here is fairly easy. Again, I'll probably be doing that. Anything I need bronze. 16... something a little... what, 126? I might be wrong. Okay, most of these are fairly easy. I may have to set up my high oven again for the steel and probably a smeltery for the alemite, but those are, as I said, fairly doable. I need 100,000 oak wood. I don't think I have that much yet. This I'll set up soon. Even more storage. This is insane because it requires the most expensive storage cell possible. But again, I'll probably get to that eventually. Okay, this one's 1 compressed sand, which I could do. 100 cloud blocks, that's also quite easy, but the reward is pointless. This requires a triple compressed cobblestone. I could also do that, but I'll set up some of these in between episodes, basically. These two I'm not touching yet. This one requires the steam turbine and turbine housing. I think I can just craft those, actually. Nom 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 nom. Check the reward bag. Oh, another uranium ore. Not that it's particularly useful, but I'll take it. Okay, I need a steam turbine, right? And that's I'll make these and I'll show you next episode as well. Steam turbine and turbine housing. Yeah, I can craft these. It's just a little bit of a pain. So Hell's Kitchen toasty bread, that requires 10,000 wheat and some other stuff, but I'll do that. I should be producing most of the things I actually require for these quests. Yeah, I'm not working on mushrooms yet. I'll set that up as well. So I think I'll take a little bit of a break here and just figure out what I want to do next. And I'll be right back. And I'm back for a quick update. I set up the quest delivery system in the way that I said I would. Almost. So this quest delivery system, I've just done a second setup. I'll use both of them eventually, but this one's for item, this one's for fluid. So that's why there's different sorts of export buses rather. And the quest delivery system that has a quest bound to it outputs a signal to the comparator. The one that doesn't. So I'm then using these rednet cables to transfer that redstone signal over to the buses. You could use normal redstone lines, but this is a little... I prefer it because it doesn't require... firstly, it's not as easy to break. It can survive water flowing over it, though the comparators can't, if I remember correctly. And it's also kind of free-floating, so I don't need blocks to place the redstone on. That way I can make it a little more compact. So I have set the fluid quest delivery system to the smelly S % dollar hashtag quest, which I shall refer to as smelly shit. I'm erming again. So for that I need 16,000 buckets of sewage, which will take a while. And just to not accidentally finish it while I spend ages preparing, I've just to show you, currently this bus is set to be active without a signal, and it's receiving a signal, so that means it's inactive. And now I'm setting it to the setting that it will keep. And I'm guessing I'm upping the speed a little bit, so he can definitely keep up and actually pump sewage out of my system faster than it gets pumped in. And after it's empty, any additional sewage that I get will automatically get put in there. And you can see this quest is now gaining progress. It's going relatively quickly right now because obviously he's burning through the sewage that's stored up. I have 500 buckets-ish, so that's a bit under a third of what is required. And I will, after that, probably do the same thing to some of the other fluid quests, namely the milk and the mob essence, because both of these quests I actually have enough stuff for. Well, I have enough for the mob essence. That is, I have 1,000 buckets roughly, and this requires 160. You just divide the number that it says there by 1,000, because that's a milli buckets, so divide by 1,000 to get the number of buckets. And the Strong Bones quest requires milk, which I'm getting a lot of, and that's also 16,000. Quite a lot, but as I said, I'm okay with that. I do get a lot of it. And these quests are repeatable, so they reset eventually, and I could do them again to get the rewards again. On the downside of it all, the chicken farm didn't really work out the way I'd set it up. That rancher did not pull eggs out of the chicken. I thought maybe it was too high up, so I moved it down. It's still pulling out the Well, I put a sheep down, and the sheep got sheared, and it's still pulling the milk out of the cows, so it's working. It just, and incidentally, it's the Tesseract can keep up. I don't know why last time stuff was accumulating, but it's just fine. Hey, baby cow! Ooh, baby cows. Going through the wheat relatively quickly. And I'll restock this manually from time to time if I need more steak. But yeah, I just put the chicken down here in this very, very nice chicken house. It's standing on top of a hopper. Any exit layers will get put into the hopper, which puts into a chest, which gets imported into my system. And that's obviously fairly slow. You know the rate at which chicken lay eggs. But I've already gotten one that I threw in again, didn't get a chicken out of it, but I'll basically wait a long time and eventually get eggs, and I'll make it so that there's maybe 20 chicken in there. Probably a sound muffler or two to make it less annoying. Tons of string now, so I should probably... I mean, I can probably stop doing the cotton, actually. And replace that with another type of crop. The spice leaf is running out, and afterwards will be replaced by tomatoes. So there, that's nice. I think I'll change the cotton to another wheat farm. So the way I'm doing that is I am taking out a bunch of wheat seeds because I have a ton of them now, and I'm moving below here, changing the setting to pull in seeds instead of cotton seeds, which I wasn't even getting. These things don't get with a harvester anyway. I don't get extra seeds out of these things. And then I'm just putting in that stack because why not? And then I'm breaking all the cotton. I have to do this manually for these because, as I said, the harvester will never remove the plants. He will just automatically harvest them, but these can be harvested without breaking them. So for the spice leaves, because they work slightly differently, they actually get harvested fully, and then the system gets a few seeds and a few of the spice leaves, and with them what works is I can actually I can just put down the tomatoes in here, and once he's burned through all the spice leaf seeds, he'll move over to tomatoes. And I think tomatoes work like the cotton, so I'll have to use the first stack or so of tomatoes I get to craft more tomato seeds to have this full. But I'll have to check on that. And this is now also growing wheat, which is nice because I need a fair amount of it, and I already have. Annoying to navigate. I already have 3 lettuce farms. I replaced the melon, as I said, I have enough melon now. And I replaced the sakura because I had a ton of that as well. Still need the rubber and the oak. I think I need 100,000 oak for a quest, and the rubber I probably have enough, to be quite honest, but I just want to be on the safe side because you need a lot of rubber. Not that I'm short or anything, I have 21,000 rubber wood, which, come to think of it, I can smelt that, and I'm also not low on the raw rubber, but still. And whoa, lag spike from hell. Didn't I have the sakura wood set up in one of those? I think I did. Now it's doing rubber, which also burns into charcoal. Wow, damn lag spikes. Okay, so let's see how the smelly shit is doing. It's going slowly now because it's only transferring the sewage in as I get it. And when I said I have about a third, I really mean I have about 3%, not a third. Don't know what I was thinking, but this will take a long time. I'll probably do those things between episodes. Destabilized redstone, I could probably do by hand. Well, not by hand, but can set that up quite easily. I have a ton of redstone. And the pyrotheum, I think I can also set that up. What I need is a bit of coal. 2 pieces should suffice. Take that. Because I need a pulverized coal as well. And I need blaze powder. I think redstone and gunpowder to make the pyrotheum dust. I'll just check. I think that's the recipe, but it is not. Okay, so what is the recipe? It's shapeless crafting. It's sulfur, okay, instead of the gunpowder. Well, that's not an issue. You can just go here. I should have stacks over stacks over stacks over more than enough sulfur, by which I mean 73,000. Okay, so the first thing I need is 2 recipes. The first one is you can make pulverized coal from coal, which will obviously be put to a pulverizer interface. And the second one is going to be the recipe for the pyrotheum dust, like so. And that recipe is just a normal crafting recipe, so that can go in here. These here, by the way, are to compress cobblestone. I need one of these octuple compressed cobblestones for a quest, which consists of 43 million cobblestone. So from time to time I'm telling it to craft one, and he'll go as far as he can get. He'll make cobblestone into compressed cobblestone turns into double compressed, and so on and so on. And the one I need is 8 times compressed. That's the correct interface. Ta-da! Still lagging royally. Don't quite know why. The frame rate's very jumpy. It keeps going from 120 down to 50 or so, and then that's lag spike. I did make some soy milk because I think the eggs will take too long, so I will use some... Can't shift click in these. Hate them. So I will... I think if I just take the silken tofu, I think I may need to turn it into firm tofu. And then let's give this a second. It should be possible to just put this in a pan and fry it to make an egg. Yep, fried egg is just firm tofu in a skillet. And I don't need the soy milk because I have proper milk now in my system, and this fluid crafting recipe I have up here can turn the milk into fresh milk, which is this stuff. You just take the bucket, craft it into this so you don't lose the bucket. And this can be used in all recipes that require milk buckets, so I can make cake out of it, for example. I can make heavy cream, I can make cheese, I can make ice cream, chocolate bars, anything that requires milk I can also do with this fresh milk stuff. Okay, yeah, there's one more thing I wanted to show you. I have 10,000 glass bottles now, and that's because of that glitch where if you craft a liquid using the juicer, for example, it gets put into a bottle. I mean, just like the carrot juice. I had the carrot juice, the symbol was a carrot juice in a bottle. And I think the way it's meant to be is that you lose that bottle it's in. I mean, when I drank it, I didn't get a glass bottle back. It's not like a potion that I can reuse the glass bottle. But in some of the crafting recipes, it's kind of broken. So you use up the, for example, to make the vinegar, I used up the glass bottles. Now, technically, I needed another one, but that was created out of thin air, and I got an empty glass bottle out of it. The creator of this mod pack said she's aware of it and not going to fix it, so, meh. I'm okay. I think that's it for the moment. I'll see how much time I have, and then I'll be right back. And here we go again, even though it's actually been a few days since my last recording, but it's still the same episode. So my fluid quests are still happily ticking away. That would be in Go With The Flow. Smelly S percentage dollar hashtag thing is at 13%. And Strong Bones is at 3%. So those will take a long time. They are pretty huge quests. I could probably finish off liquid mobs in a matter of minutes, but I'm okay at the moment. I did, however, prepare a quest here. That's the Metallic Collection, which I think that's supposed to be spelled with 2 L's. For which we need, well, this. 16 blocks of alumite, 16 bronze, 16 steel, 16 aluminum brass, 64 gold, 64 iron, 64 tin, 64 aluminum, 64 copper. Ta-da! Excuse me? I have to cut again for a bit. 4 full hearts, that's very nice. Except totally pointless. And an epic reward bag. An ME 64K storage. I should really make another ME drive. Questions, did I? I did indeed store that pattern. Very nice. And you will go up. I don't technically need this, but I might as well. So have that. I am in no way running low on storage. As you can see, this one cell here, I think that's displaying the orange because it's partitioned. And I don't even quite remember what I put on it. I think some of the stuff that I have a lot of, basically. And all the other drives are still displaying green, which means most of them are completely empty, and the ones that have stuff on them, there's still some space left. I mean, this one, 60 out of 63 types, almost 40,000. Sorry, 40,000 byte. Almost approaching the point where it's full, but still not really problematic. I also made a bunch of sticky pistons. Well, precisely 1,000 to be precise. And there's a quest for that as well in For the Hoarding, and that's Mechanical Madness, 1,000 sticky pistons and 100 Tinker's alloy gears, which I also have. And we're working on the iceberg, that's just going, I guess. I'll set up something for the, actually, triple compressed cobblestone. Let me just make sure. Do I have to craft that? No, I need to have it. Okay. So make me a triple compressed cobblestone. There we go. And I will get myself the cyclic assemblers, or cyclic assemblers, depending on, I guess, pronunciation of choice. Another epic reward bag, which... oh! Shimmerleaf and cinder pearls. Not terribly useful, but it is something I can use for Thaumcraft, which I'm thinking I'll get into Thaumcraft soonish. I mean, I still have other things to do, but the magic mods, they're beginning to tempt me, to put it that way. And I just want to see, there was some way, yes, I could get the storage segments out of these empty storage devices, and that would return storage cell housings, which are do they stack? They stack, very nice. Okay, so that'll allow me to just basically reuse these storage segments. And I just shift right click. And these storage pieces are basically used to craft the higher level ones. So yeah, the storage housings, these I can also reuse, because I can just combine them with a bigger storage cell, cluster, whatever, to make the bigger final devices. So I can reuse them, but it should be noted that they're not really I mean, the price of making a 64K storage device, the majority of the price comes from the storage cluster, which is this thing which goes down and takes tons of stuff. The bit that I'm saving isn't really so valuable, so it's technically possible to reuse the storage cell housing, but not really relevant, I guess. However, these things, the segments in the cell, I will actually be able to take advantage of. I don't want this full heart, and I don't want the flux-infused pickaxe. Those are basically rechargeable tools. The good thing about this is it comes with efficiency 5 and fortune 5 right on it, so that might be nice for the future. Okay, I was just going to check through this. Now, after I've done the stone storage, there's no follow-up quest. The follow-up quest should actually be in bragging rights, right here. Cobblegen Madness, asking for 1 octuple compressed cobblestone. That's the thing that takes 43 million cobblestone, so still a ways to go on that. I'm still contemplating going to the Nether quite soon, because I still have these 2 quests, and this one actually requires me going to the Nether. In Hell's Kitchen, I'm currently making the dough for the toasty bread and the cloudy with meatballs quests. I actually think I might be able to finish the most important meal. Assuming I have the necessary amount of potatoes. That might be an issue. I have the onions, and I know I can make the butter, but the potatoes, I believe, might be just shy of 100. No, I have 100 potatoes. Okay, so that's something else I can do next time, but I think it's been long enough for this episode. My frame rates are fine, by the way, so my graphics card is keeping up. What isn't is, I think, my processor. Problem is, it's an AMD processor, which game designers don't tend to optimize the games for those. Its strength would be in multi-core processing, which I got this processor because I thought multi-core processing would be the future, and in some ways it is, but apparently not for everyone. It appears like game developers are still somewhat lagging behind in that development slightly. So yeah, I also have one more thing that I want to do. Maybe I'll have that finished for next time. And that's the even more storage quest, which requires me to make a 16M storage device. And that's orders of magnitude bigger than the 64K ones that I'm currently using. It's so large that it's completely useless. There's really no reason to have such a large storage device. But I submit it, I get it back, so I don't actually lose anything. It's just that thing costs over 20,000 redstone. I do, however, believe that I actually have over 20,000 redstone now. Yep, 26,000. I have to check if my diamond supply is large enough. It takes a ton of processors as well. I guess we'll see. And how are you doing? Still going through dough? Yeah, but I have to wait on the fresh water now. It's my system is actually out of water, pretty much. So yeah, that'll just take a while, and apparently it gets stuck when it's out of water a little bit. Oh well. So yeah, he has to wait for water to be able to keep crafting these. Anyway, that dough I will just for now, as it's still crafting it, and there will be a lot of crafting to be done. Is anything being imported here? No. So I'm setting up this redstone furnace to just bake this dough into bread. If I wanted to make pasta out of it, then I don't need to bake it, but I also need 10,000 toast for a quest and a bunch of bread for another quest. So might as well take all the dough I'm currently producing and turn it into bread. And then I have to take the bread and turn most of it into toast. So fun times ahead. But that'll all be working just by itself. So I think I'll end the episode here. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.